Hello Man United fans, here is massive news on new goalkeeper. Senne Lammens the answer to Manchester United's keeper problem? Picture this. It's the final day of the transfer window. Panic buying is happening everywhere. Teams are making last-minute deals. And Manchester United pulls off a surprise signing that nobody saw coming. They signed Senne Lammens, a 23-year-old goalkeeper from Royal Antwerp in Belgium. Most fans had never heard of him before. Social media went crazy. Who is this guy? Is he any good? Can he fix our goalkeeping problems? These are the questions every United fan is asking right now. Well, after diving deep into his performances, watching hours of footage, and breaking down the numbers, we've got some answers. Some will make you excited. Others might make you worry. But one thing is certain. This signing is way more interesting than you might think. Who exactly is Senne Lammens? Before we get into whether he's good enough for United, let's talk about who this guy actually is. Senne Lammens is a 23-year-old Belgian goalkeeper who spent last season playing for Royal Antwerp in the Belgian Pro League. At 6 feet 4 inches tall, he's got the height you want in a modern keeper. But here's the thing that makes this signing interesting. United beat Aston Villa to sign him. Yes, the same Aston Villa who have Emiliano Martinez, one of the best keepers in the Premier League. That tells us something, doesn't it? Villa clearly rated him highly enough to go after him. The transfer happened on deadline day, which usually means one of two things. Either it was a panic buy, or United had been watching him for a while and waited for the right moment to strike. Given what we know about his stats, it looks like the latter. So what made United choose a relatively unknown keeper from Belgium over more established options? The answer lies in the numbers, and they're pretty incredible. The numbers don't lie, or do they? When you look at Lammens' statistics from last season, your jaw might drop. Among all goalkeepers in Europe's top 10 leagues, he ranked first for total saves made. We're talking 173 saves with a save percentage of 77.4%. That's not just good, that's outstanding. But wait, it gets better. Using something called expected goals, XG, the data shows he was expected to concede about 66 goals based on the shots he faced. Instead, he only let in 48 goals. That means he statistically prevented 18.4 goals that should have gone in. This put him second in all of Europe for goals prevented. Now, if you're reading this thinking, wow, we've signed the next Manuel Neuer, hold your horses. These numbers are impressive, but they need context. And that's where things get interesting. The Belgian Pro League, where Lammens played, isn't the Premier League. The quality of strikers, the pace of the game, the physicality, it's all different. Those 173 saves might look amazing, but were they against world-class strikers or decent Belgian players? This is where the real analysis begins. Anyone can look good against weaker opposition. The question is, can he do it when Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, or Mohamed Salah are running at him? How does he handle one-on-one situations? One of the most important skills for any goalkeeper is dealing with one-on-one situations. You know those heart-stopping moments when a striker breaks through and it's just him versus the keeper? That's where matches are won and lost. Lammens has a smart approach to these situations. When an attacker is running at him from distance, he doesn't just stand on his line hoping for the best. Instead, he comes out partially to narrow the angle. Think about it like this: the closer he gets to the striker, the less goal the striker can see. Once he's narrowed the angle, he does something clever. He stops and holds his position, making himself as big as possible. This forces the attacker to make a quick decision. Should they shoot? Try to round him? Go left or right? By putting pressure on the striker, he often forces them into making mistakes. He also doesn't dive too early, which is a common mistake young keepers make. By staying on his feet longer, he reduces the chance of giving away a penalty or being easily rounded for a tap-in. But there's a downside to this approach. If the striker takes their shot early, there can be space either side of Lammens. This sometimes makes goals look easier to score than they should be. It's a risk-reward situation. For short-distance one-on-ones, where the striker is already close to goal, Lammens uses a different approach. He spreads his body wide, almost like a cricket fielder making a long barrier. His height and quick reactions help him make saves with different parts of his body. The question is, will this work against Premier League strikers who are faster, stronger, and more clinical than what he faced in Belgium? Long-range shots, his bread and butter. A lot of the saves Lammens made last season came from longer-range efforts. This makes sense when you think about it. Teams facing Royal Antwerp probably didn't create as many clear-cut chances, so they took more shots from distance. Here's where Lammens shows some interesting positioning. Instead of standing right on his goal line like many keepers do, he often takes a position a few yards forward. Why does he do this? By stepping forward, He reduces the angle that shooters can aim at. A shot that might be heading for the top corner becomes more savable because he's closer to it. It's a bit like moving closer to someone throwing a ball at you. You have a better chance of catching it. This positioning helps him get his body behind shots from distance, often catching them safely rather than just parrying them. It makes some saves look easier than they actually are, which isn't a bad thing for a keeper's confidence. But there's a trade-off here too. When he takes this advanced position, he has less time to react to unexpected shots. If a ball deflects off a defender or someone takes a quick shot through a crowd of players, those extra few yards could be crucial. His reaction saves are actually very good for a keeper of his size. Getting down quickly isn't always easy when you're 6 feet 4 inches, but Lammens manages it well. The question is whether those reactions will be fast enough for the Premier League, where shots come at you quicker and from better players. The cross-claiming puzzle. Now here's where things get really interesting. According to the data, Lammens ranked first among all European keepers for stopping crosses last season, claiming 13.2% of crosses that came into his area. Given United's recent struggles defending corners and crosses, this sounds like exactly what we need, right? Well, not so fast. When you watch him play, you start to understand why these numbers might be misleading. Lammens is very aggressive when it comes to crosses. He loves coming off his line to catch balls that are up for grabs. In the Belgian league, he faced many crosses that weren't really contested by opposing players, making it relatively easy for him to come out and claim them. Being 6 feet 4 inches certainly helps in these situations. But set pieces, especially corners, are a different story. While his instinct is still to come out and claim the ball, he doesn't always read the flight of the ball correctly. Sometimes he comes for crosses he should leave, and other times he stays back when he should come out. Here's a telling statistic. Despite his impressive cross-claiming numbers, Lammens conceded 8 goals from 85 corners last season. That's a 9% conversion rate. To put that in perspective, when you compare him to Premier League keepers who faced more than 20 corners last season, 15 keepers had better records and 12 had worse. Interestingly, Emiliano Martinez, the keeper Villa chose over Lammens, had one of the best corner records in the Premier League, conceding only 2 goals from 60 corners. But before we get too worried, remember that Andre Onana, United's main keeper last season, conceded goals from 17.2% of corners he faced. So even if Lammens isn't perfect, he might still be an improvement. The Premier League is different though. Teams are more physical, corner routines are more inventive, and players are better at disrupting goalkeepers. Lammens will need to adapt quickly to handle this step up in quality. Can he play with his feet? In modern football, goalkeepers need to be good with their feet. They're like an extra outfield player when their team has the ball. So how does Lammens measure up in this area? The good news is that he's comfortable using both feet, even though he's naturally right-footed. This might sound basic, but it's actually really useful. When his left centre-back passes him the ball, he can use his left foot to quickly pass it to his right centre-back without taking an extra touch. This speeds up United's build-up play and makes it harder for opponents to press effectively. His long passing with his right foot is decent, especially when he's passing across his body toward the left side of the pitch. He's less accurate when passing to the right side, which is something he'll need to work on. With his left foot, his long passing is more about clearing the ball than picking out teammates. That's normal for most keepers, but in the Premier League, you sometimes need that extra accuracy to start attacks. Here's where things get concerning though. In the Belgian league, Lammens didn't face as much pressing as he'll get in the Premier League. When he was pressed, he often just launched the ball long into general areas rather than finding specific teammates. This led to his team losing possession quite often. There's a rumor that another top European club recently decided not to sign him because they were worried about his ball-playing ability when under pressure. They didn't want to risk giving the ball away in dangerous areas. The positive is that Lammens looks confident even when pressed, and is good at making himself available for passes from his defenders. This should help United's overall play, even if his passing isn't perfect yet. What this means for Manchester United. So where does this leave United and their new signing? Let's be honest about what they've got. Lammens is clearly talented. His shot-stopping statistics are genuinely impressive, even accounting for the lower quality of opposition he faced. He's young, confident, and has room to improve. At 23, he's got potentially 15 years of top-level football ahead of him. But he's not a finished product. The step up from the Belgian Pro League to the Premier League is massive. The pace is faster, the players are stronger, and the pressure is intense. Every mistake gets analysed by millions of fans and the media. United's goalkeeping situation has been a concern for a while. David De Gea left, Onana had a difficult first season, and the backup options weren't convincing anyone. Lammens represents a different approach. Instead of signing an established star, they've gone for potential. This could work out brilliantly. If Lammens adapts well to English football, United could have their goalkeeper sorted for the next decade. But it could also backfire if he struggles with the transition and United find themselves still looking for a reliable number one. The pressure factor. One thing we haven't talked about yet is pressure. Playing for Royal Antwerp and playing for Manchester United are completely different experiences. At United, every game matters. Every mistake is scrutinized. The fans expect perfection, and the media is always watching. Some players thrive under this pressure. Others crumble. We don't know yet which category Lammens falls into because he's never experienced anything like what he's about to face. The early signs are positive though. He looks confident on the ball and doesn't seem to panic in difficult situations. But facing a tricky cross in front of 3,000 Belgian fans is very different from dealing with a corner at Old Trafford with 75,000 United fans holding their breath. His teammates will be crucial here. If the defense can help him settle in and the coaching staff can work on his positioning and decision-making, he has a real chance to succeed. But if he's thrown in at the deep end without proper support, it could get difficult quickly. How he compares to other United keepers. It's natural to compare Lammens to the keepers United have had recently. How does he stack up against De Gea, Onana, and even legends like Edwin van der Sar? In terms of shot stopping, his numbers suggest he could be as good as peak De Gea, who was incredible at keeping shots out of the net. But De Gea struggled with crosses and distribution, which ultimately led to his departure. Compared to Onana, Lammens might be better at shot stopping but probably isn't as good with his feet yet. Onana was brought in specifically for his ability to play out from the back, but his shot stopping was sometimes questionable. Van der Sar was brilliant at everything: shot stopping, crosses, distribution, and commanding his area. He's the standard that all United keepers are measured against. Lammens has the potential to reach that level, but is nowhere near it yet. The key difference is experience. Van der Sar had played at the highest level for years before joining United. Lammens is stepping into the unknown. What needs to improve? If Lammens is going to succeed at United, there are clear areas he needs to work on. His decision-making on crosses needs to get better. He can't just rush out for every ball that comes into the box. Premier League attackers will punish him for poor decisions. He needs to learn when to come out and when to stay put. His positioning could be more consistent. While his slightly advanced position works for some shots, it leaves him vulnerable to others. Finding the right balance will be crucial. Distribution under pressure is another area for improvement. In the Premier League, he'll be pressed much more aggressively than he was in Belgium. He needs to get better at finding teammates rather than just launching the ball hopefully upfield. Communication will be vital too. Premier League defenses need to be organized, and the goalkeeper plays a huge role in that. Lammens will need to learn English quickly and start talking to his defenders constantly. Finally, he needs to adapt to the physicality of English football. Players will try to intimidate him at corners and free kicks. He needs to stand his ground while still making smart decisions. The coaching challenge. Erik ten Hag and his coaching staff have a big job on their hands. They need to help Lammens adapt to English football while not overwhelming him with changes. The good news is that United have experience with this. They successfully helped players like Lisandro Martinez adapt from other leagues. Martinez was also questioned when he arrived but became a fan favorite through hard work and smart coaching. The coaching team will need to work on Lammens' positioning, decision-making, and communication. They'll also need to gradually introduce him to the intensity of Premier League football rather than throwing him in at the deep end. Video analysis will be crucial. Studying how Premier League attackers move, how crosses are delivered, and how set pieces are taken will help Lammens prepare for what's coming. Most importantly, they need to build his confidence while being honest about areas that need improvement. A confident goalkeeper makes confident decisions, and that's what United need. Fan expectations and reality. United fans are desperate for stability in goal. After years of uncertainty, they want a keeper they can trust completely. The question is whether they're willing to be patient while Lammens develops. Some fans are excited by the signing. They see the potential and the impressive statistics. Others are worried that United are taking too big a gamble on an unproven player. The reality is probably somewhere in between. Lammens has genuine talent, but is not going to solve all of United's problems immediately. There will be mistakes, learning experiences, and moments of doubt. If fans can be patient and supportive, they might witness the development of a top-class goalkeeper. But if they expect perfection from day one, both they and Lammens are likely to be disappointed. What success looks like. So what would success look like for Lammens at United? In the short term, it's about steady improvement and fewer mistakes than his predecessors made. If he can match Onana's distribution while being more reliable at shot stopping, that's progress. If he can improve on the team's corner defending while not making any major errors, fans will start to trust him. In the long term, success means becoming United's undisputed number one for years to come. It means making the saves that win matches and commanding his area with authority. The ultimate success would be helping United win trophies while establishing himself as one of the Premier League's best goalkeepers. It's a tall order, but it's not impossible. The verdict: reason for hope or concern. After analysing everything we know about Senne Lammens, what's the verdict? Should United fans be excited or worried about this signing? The honest answer is both. There are genuine reasons for optimism. His shot-stopping statistics are excellent, he's confident and calm under pressure, and he has the physical attributes to succeed. At 23, he has time to develop and could be United's keeper for the next decade. But there are also legitimate concerns. The step up in quality is enormous, his decision-making on crosses needs work, and his distribution under pressure is questionable. He's never played at this level before, and we don't know how he'll handle the pressure. The key factors will be patience, coaching, and support. If United give him time to adapt, provide good coaching, and support him through the inevitable difficult moments, he could develop into a top keeper. If they expect too much too soon, or if he's not given proper support, this signing could become another goalkeeping headache for the club. Looking ahead. The next few months will be crucial for Lammens and United. How quickly he adapts to training, how he handles his first appearances, and how the fans react to him will all influence his future at the club. The Premier League is unforgiving, but it's also the best place in the world to develop as a player. If Lammens has the mental strength to handle the challenges ahead, he could surprise a lot of people. One thing is certain: this signing is far more interesting than it first appeared. United haven't just bought a backup keeper or made a panic purchase. They've invested in a young goalkeeper with genuine potential who could solve their goalkeeping problems for years to come. Whether that potential becomes reality depends on many factors, but the foundation is there. Lammens has the tools to succeed. Now he needs to prove he can use them at the highest level. The journey starts now, and every United fan will be watching closely to see if their new goalkeeper can rise to the challenge. It's going to be a fascinating story to follow, and one that could define United's success in the years ahead. For now, all we can do is wait, watch, and hope that this young Belgian goalkeeper has what it takes to succeed at the Theatre of Dreams. The early signs are promising, but in football, potential means nothing until it's proven on the pitch. Time will tell whether Senne Lammens becomes the answer to United's goalkeeping prayers or just another chapter in their ongoing search for stability between the posts. But one thing is for sure: it's going to be an interesting journey finding out.